Inside Hilltopper Athletics is brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Lynn Ullum.
Welcome to Inside Hilltopper Athletics. I'm joined by head football coach Roger Wiley. Coach, we don't have our normal smiles on here today. Very competitive, very exciting game, but in the end, we come up on the short end. So, as always, just sum up the game the other night.
Well, we got off to a decent start. Again, we had a couple of special team snafus that, a big return down to the one. If you look at it, for the most part, I know we gave up a lot of yards defensively, but our defense was put in some bad situations where, we held them to, 4 field goals. But, returning the ball down to the one, the pick in the red zone, all those things add up when you're in a one-score game. It's not one play that loses you the game. It's a combination of 4 or 5 plays that really cost us that game. And, we just got to make more plays. It's just, it comes down to a one-play game, really, when you look at the score. And, everybody's going to look at the last pick. But there was 4 other plays that determined the outcome of that game.
Yeah, it was we got off to such a good start and actually playing pretty well on both sides of the ball. I think one of the biggest difference makers in the game was their running back.
Right.
And I had said on the air, and hopefully we don't let this bee sting Coach Wiley while we're on the air, but we just don't see kids like him on a weekly basis. Would you agree?
Well, we're going to see another one the next time we play. But, Frostburg had some pretty good backs, and they did a good job. I thought we, somewhat controlled their passing game because they had been throwing the ball pretty well. And we were able to get to the first quarterback, and then, the second one, we're able to get some pressure throws that he, usually makes those throws. So that was a good thing defensively that our front was able to get some pressure and get back there. We had a couple opportunities for sacks to make the plays. But, again, the one big thing missed in all, our kids played hard again. And they gave themselves an opportunity to win. And so they're understanding the process that it takes to be in football games. And it's not easy winning games. If it was easy, we wouldn't play the games. But, again, we got to execute at a higher level to beat teams of that caliber. And it just shows to us that, we're not that far off.
Well, and that's the thing about Don Clegg and I were even talking this morning. You look at our league, and Fairmont beat Charleston the other night.
Right.
And, we're playing these teams, and we're in these games. And although Notre Dame might not be quite at the level they've been, they still have some talented football players.
Yeah, they beat Frostburg. Frostburg and Charleston tee it up this week, and that's probably going to determine the league champion. So, on any given, they say any given Sunday we're here, any given Thursday or Saturday, anything can happen.
Yeah, but it was such a quality football game to watch. And I will give Notre Dame credit. We came out and did what we needed to do, but Notre Dame just found a way to hang in.
Right.
We even talked on the air, if we could just get the football back with a chance to take it to 2 scores and whatever, but they always just found a way to come up with their version of the answer, and then we get in the second half, and we kind of switched roles with them,
right,
where it looked like we potentially could maybe fall out of this, and the next thing you know, we have the ball going down with a chance to win. So let's work backwards. Let's talk about the last drive. What is going through your mind? And let's first of all talk the decision to go for the onside kick with 3.5, 4 minutes left with 3 timeouts. So,
well, the first thing on the onside kick, what was going through my mind is 2 opportunities. Meaning, we got an opportunity to recover the onside kick. If we don't recover the onside kick, I still have 3 timeouts. They're going to be ultra conservative in that situation. And so I thought there was 2 ways we can get the ball back. Probably 5-6 minutes, it's going deep. But at that point in time, that was the decision process for me, is let's give ourselves 2 opportunities to get the ball back, one being the onside kick. Number two, okay, if we don't get the onside kick, they should play conservatively. And that was my thinking behind doing that.
Well, it was the perfectly executed onside kick. We get the ball back, and TV doesn't really do the justice to the steady rain that was falling.
Correct.
Like pretty consistent rain in the second half, and we had mentioned that on the air doing the game live, that the cameras just really don't pick up ground level the type of rain we got going here. But you get the ball back, you're down 5, so thoughts?
Well, we wanted to take what they gave us, meaning we started off with the short passing game. They started coming up and playing man. Then we started with crossers. I thought, on first down when Rudy dropped back and, Ben converted the route to a vertical, he threw the crossing route. We get an intentional grounding. And he wasn't being pressured, meaning he just thought he was coming across and he turned it up, and so there was nobody really in that area, and that's why it was wide open. But then we come back and, we're fourth down, and they hold us when Rudy was scrambling around. He was able to extend the time. When we come back, we called an out with a vertical, and we switched the route because we're expecting man. Here's the thing about it. If he holds on it 1 second, hits it in the second window, it's a touchdown. He was getting a little bit pressure, tried to throw it in the first window, and the backer ended up making a play on the ball. And so, those things are going to happen in games. You can't put yourself in that situation, but overall, they keep fighting, and they're, if they keep fighting, they're going to win more games.
Yeah, it was just, I don't want to use the word disappointing, but having the onside kick with the chance to win, it was just a tremendous football game. Of course, our first Saturday night game ever.
Right.
In this stadium. So everything cooperated, had some really, really big moments, but unfortunately playing a quality Notre Dame team, and Notre Dame comes up with the big stop at the end of the game. As always, let's talk just a little bit. Any unsung position player that you want to recognize in the game? Well,
sometimes you lose focus of this and people don't realize how important this is, but the long snapping in the game. I thought Wyatt Bratton and Fraley did a great job of getting the ball on the extra points, Fraley, and then on the punts, there hadn't been any bad snaps, and that's something that coaches lose sleep over, and we've been pretty fortunate that we can rely and depend on them. I can go home, go to sleep. Okay, we got long snappers. So that's probably one thing that gets overlooked more than anything. And then you get the conditions, obviously. With the new schematics of the referees, before the umpire used to stand over the ball and keep the ball dry. Well, now they put the ball down and he's standing in the back behind right by the quarterback, or by the kickers. They got 2 guys back. So when they put the ball down, now it's just sitting there and the rain's hitting it. Nobody's sitting there holding the ball to keep it dry. And so that's, lost in all this stuff when they changed the referee. That's why I think Division I added the other referee to go behind the line of scrimmage, because you watch their game, somebody's always standing over the ball keeping it dry. And so that's why, I was happy with the production of the long snappers.
Did you like the 5 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday night?
No, I didn't really. I had no sense of time, meaning, I got home, and normally when I get home from a night game, it's 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning, and I got home and it was like 9 o'clock. I'm going, whoa, what are we doing? See,
that's why I think I may have kind of liked it, because we started early enough at 5, and the game went a full 3 hours, but still it's over at 8. The normal person could be home 9:30. So I kind of liked it. Not that I'd want to do it a lot, but
yeah, it's just, it leads for a long day for us. We can't, at least when we play at 1 o'clock, we're here at about 8 o'clock, and then we're back home by 5. But, when you have the 5 o'clock kick, we didn't have anything for the kids for 2, but, I'm not going to stay at home and do my honey-do list prior to coming up here,
I've got a lot of those lists.
So I was like, hey, I got work to do. What kind of work? You don't play till 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that wraps up our first segment, and we'll come back and shift gears as the Hilltoppers are on a bye week.
Inside Hilltopper Athletics is brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Lynn Ullum.
Welcome back to our second segment of Inside Hilltopper Athletics, following our first night game in stadium history on a Saturday against Notre Dame. The Hilltoppers have a rare bye week when Alderson Broaddus unfortunately closed. It left a hole in the schedule. And first of all, let's talk about, we almost went to Mississippi this week to play.
Yeah, we were looking at playing Delta State. They were the only school in the country that had this open date. And so we were looking at the cost and what the costs were, and they were going to offer us some money to help out with that travel, but we just couldn't make it match up on what we could afford to do. And so basically that's why we have the bye week. I mean, I didn't want to punish our kids and say, okay, we're just going to play 10. I tried all I could to get them the 11th game, but we were unable to make the numbers match up for us. And so that would have been good. A lot of times you want to take your kids, some of our kids we only got one kid on the team that's probably ever been to Mississippi, and that's because that's where he's from. So, it would have been nice to go down there. But if you look at it on the positive side of things, we're not a very healthy football team right now. And even the guys playing are somewhat quite beat up. So we need to take this this week to heal. We're still going to practice. We're still going to go, but it's going to be more of a mental week, and then we'll come back in and ramp it up next week to get ready for the following week to get ready for Charleston.
Right, and just for the viewers out there, Coach Wiley and I, we did discuss the trip to Mississippi extensively. Travel at our level is beyond belief.
Right.
And what I think made the decision a little bit easier, if this would have been a game 4 hours, 5 hours away, but we also had travel logistics of that being potentially a 13-hour trip in buses.
Yeah, and the bus drivers only can drive for so many times, so we would have to pay for the second bus drivers to stay the night, wait for the bus to come back, the switch, which we've done before, but and that was quite expensive. But, you're looking at right now for a small college football team to travel that distance, it was upwards of $40,000 when you look at the hotels. And we were looking at staying an hour away from there because it was, cheaper. The hotels in Mississippi where they're located was $212 a night. Well, when you got to get 40 rooms, all the little costs just add up.
It's just to put it in perspective, and one of the great things about playing in the Mountain East Conference is our travel at the college level is one of the better situations in the country.
Right.
You're going 2, 3, Concord 4 hours is the longest trip. One 13-hour trip with all the things that we just talked about would cost more than all the other 5 away games.
Well, that happened to us last year going to Pembroke. The Pembroke trip, and the total cost $28,000. And you're looking at that, and think it's a high number. The highest number was the buses were close to 20,000. I think there were 19.4, 19.3 just for the 2 buses to go back and forth. And so, when you look at those costs, you got to be really smart on who you're scheduling out of conference, that you're not blowing your budget all on one trip.
Yeah, and just unfortunately, in this sport, finding a non-conference football game this late in the calendar is almost impossible.
Right. I mean, you look at the one year, we're very fortunate that Eastern New Mexico had the money to fly out and do things just because they had a school that did similar situation. The school didn't shut their doors, but they eliminated football. And so they were willing to go anywhere, and our cost was, we said, okay, once you hit the ground, we'll pay for everything just so we can get the kids the 11th game. And it was the same price, actually, as us playing a away game.
Yeah, it's most teams play 11 games as we were scheduled to play.
Right.
So there's very few bye weeks available on any week compounded this late. So let's switch gears. You talked about you'll change it up a little bit with the bye week. So go into just a little bit more detail about that. Will there be any days off that you normally don't take off? Is it film work? Is it a chance to get the younger kids that may not be getting the reps? Just talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, what we'll do is normally this time of year we cut down some of our periods, so we'll cut down a few periods. Today we'll try to stay, and the next 2 days we'll try to stay away from all the contact stuff as much as possible, meaning in a normal practice, normally we'll have a blitz period, which is good on good, and then we'll have a 25-minute team period, and then we always practice a 2-minute period on Tuesdays. So, the blitz period and the 2-minute period are eliminated for today, and we'll just go a 20-minute team period. Probably do, and we'll still go over today's a kick day. So we do all the, punting, kickoff, and PAT field goal. So we still got to stay sharp in our special teams. We'll still do our indie work in our special teams. We'll come back tomorrow, and the special team focus will be all of our return games. And then we'll probably do similar, the 7-on-7s. We'll eliminate. We usually have inside run. We won't have inside run tomorrow. We're going to amp it back up on Thursday and maybe take a look at all the kids that haven't had the opportunity to play games and have a quick 20, 30-minute scrimmage with them. And keep anybody that plays in the game out on the sideline just so we can get a look at some of the kids and let them have some fun too. They've been on scout teams. They've been busting their butt to try to make us better, and now it's their time to, we're going to run our offense, our defense, and see what you can do. We'll actually give them Friday and Saturday off to try to heal. We'll come back and start practice just to try to get them back into a normal work week for a Thursday night game. So we'll come back and we'll practice in uppers on Sunday. We'll go full pads Monday night. Tuesday we'll have our run through. We'll walk through Wednesday and go play on Thursday. So that's basically our schedule for the next 10 days or whatever it is.
Well, the Hilltoppers have 2 games left. Bye week this week, the following week on a Thursday night at Charleston, and then Wheeling, the last game of the season, back here at Gary West Stadium. I don't want to talk about Charleston right now. We'll spend some time on them the following week.
Yeah.
Let's get back into the MEC standings real quick. We talked about maybe more parity than we've ever seen.
Yeah, we talked about that last year. Anybody could beat anybody, and I think it's going to continue to get closer and closer. I don't think – and the reason why I think it's going to continue to get closer and closer because a lot of the schools and what happened to us, they're having first-team all-conference kids. They're going to FBS and FCS schools after 1 year, 2 years, and – what it looks like trending-wise, number-wise, is almost that the Division II level is becoming the junior colleges because it's easier to get a transfer student eligible. They have a one-time transfer. All they have to do is be eligible here than it is to get a junior college player eligible because the junior college academic rules are a lot higher in standard than what it is for a 4-to-4 transfer. Meaning if you come from a junior college, you either have to have your AA degree to be eligible. You have to have your AA degree to be eligible on the Division I level. Where you get somebody Division II, all they have to do is be eligible at the school they're leaving. So there's a little bit of a mess up, I guess, and not say mess up, but an oversight in the transfer rules, and with the transfer portal, the coaches are crying. I've been on a million meetings, not at meetings, but on Zoom calls that the coaches are asking for an academic presence to go with the transfer portal rules, other than you can go whenever you want, wherever you want. And so to have some clarity, because, I don't think it's fair to the junior college kids. They got to get an AA, or on Division II, you got to have 101, 102, English 101, 102. You have to have a biology with a lab. You have to have a math higher than college algebra, and then your GPA has to be over a 2.3. Well, transfer 4 to 4, all you need is a 2.0. And in the Division I level, to come from a junior college, you need a 2.5. And so until they put a academic thing around the transfer portal, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better.
Yeah, it's going to. Of course, everyone has to adapt to it, so
right.
We all will. But yeah, it's this isn't the industry that we had 10 years ago.
Right.
Last thing here, just to wrap this up. I know I enjoyed, but having one of our legends back, Mark Murphy, starting safety for the Green Bay Packers. He's in the Green Bay Packer Hall of Fame.
Right.
He and his family came back. Did you get a chance to?
Oh yeah, fortunately, when he was coaching in high school at St. Mary's, St. Vincent's, we were in that school every year, so we had the opportunity to see him, and mostly that's Coach Monterosa's area. So Coach Monterosa and him had a kind of a good relationship when he would come in. But I thought it was neat just to meet him, and I didn't realize how tall he was.
Yeah,
he was. I was expecting somebody, 5'11", 6 foot, and I looked up. I was like, whoa, he was a big safety back in that day.
Yeah, he's a physical specimen, but really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you never brought up the trick play. Usually, you're
in
the trick
absolutely,
play,
because we went to the end of the game. Well, you ran the trick play and the flip.
Yeah. Well, the flip's not a trick play.
No, it's not, but it's my favorite play because it works practically every time. So.
Yeah, and we have to put in, and we'll look at putting something off of that coming for the next couple weeks. But and this is where coaching wise, you kind of right now Chris Charles is 2 for 2 for like 150, 60 yards, and so do I give him another chance or do I let him? But it was again. We had worked on that play for about 2 weeks, and this week it just seemed to be clicking, and just because how we were able to get them in a certain coverage by that formation, and so that's why it was intended to be run in the first series, but we got behind the sticks. I didn't think we could get them in the coverage, and I told them, hey, second series we're running it sometime here.
It obviously worked, and it was a big play in the game. Well, that wraps up this week of Inside Hilltopper Athletics. Bye week, but we'll have our usual show next week, and we'll see you then.
Disasters happen. Pick the team that takes care of them all. Powered by offices in Wheeling, Morgantown, and Pittsburgh, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration is ready to handle any size emergency at a moment's notice. We have the right people, knowledge, and equipment to respond 24 hours a day.
I'm Roger Wiley. When disaster strikes your home or business, tell your insurance provider you prefer the restoration company the Hilltoppers call, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nicole Ennis, Interim Dean of the College of Education and Human Performance at West Liberty University.
And I'm Dr. Richard Whitehead, the Interim Chair of Graduate Teaching and Learning. The moment the community and region has been waiting years for has finally arrived. West Liberty's first ever doctorate program just received full HLC approval to launch.
The Doctor of Education in Instructional Leadership, Management, and Innovation will prepare professionals to take on new leadership roles in various fields of their organization. We are officially accepting applications for the first cohort to begin in late September, with annual cohorts starting yearly in May. If you're ready to start your doctorate in education, now's the time.
The next chapter of your life can start in 3 years. Visit westliberty.edu/EDD to get started today.
Hi, I'm Liliana Hart, and I'm a studio art major here at West Liberty, and I'm going to show you what it's like to be in this program. So my first class today is intermediate painting with Mr. Fensel. Studio art as a major is just about creating that exponential growth as an artist. It gives you a community of artists around you, and it's unique in its ability to curate your classes on how you want to advance as an artist. There's crossover between 3D, 2D, even if you are on the main 3D or 2D track. So in intermediate painting, we were exploring abstract work, which is a challenge for me because my art is never really abstract, but that's just another way that these classes challenge you. I really learned more about my art and myself. I'm headed to my second class of the day, which is silkscreen production with Professor Matusiak. This major is perfect for those who want to become full-time artists or practicing artists, and as well as those who want to advance into a Master's of Arts program. I chose this major because my goal is to teach art in a higher academia setting at an arts college or university, and this program allows me to build upon my skill and gives me opportunities to advance my ability to apply to master's programs that I'm considering and grow overall as an artist. So now I'm heading into a meeting with my advisor, Pencil.
So what I just kind of want to talk to you about today is, so you got a deadline coming up, February 19th, to apply to the Academy.
One of the things that we've been working on lately, my advisor and I, is the New York Academy of Art Summer Intensive Program, which I would not have been aware of if not for Professor Fensel. One of the main reasons I want to apply is because they focus a lot on anatomy and portraiture as a whole, which is one of my favorite things to do as an artist, and I would love to just push myself to another level within that. He really has helped me in curating what I want to create for my portfolio for this program. He's been very instrumental in my journey to complete this process. So now I'm in the ceramics lab, which is in Christ Hall, and I'm doing some studio time. So while I chose the 2D track, I did want to explore 3D in some realm, and you do have the ability to curate your classes, which allowed me to take ceramics. And when I explored that, I found it really relaxing and motivating into pushing myself into other art forms that I had never considered. So tonight is the faculty exhibition at the Nutting Gallery, and I'm gonna go check it out. So one of my favorite things about the professors in this program is just how talented they are. Seeing their work in exhibitions like the annual faculty exhibition is just very inspiring. And they are also extremely committed to helping you reach your goals and assisting you in class, as well as your own personal work. A couple of times I've brought my own work into professors and they have assisted me on how to move forward. Thank you for checking out the program with me. For more information, go to our website.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Seabright, and I am getting my Master's of Arts in Education through the Reading Specialist track. The reason I chose the Reading Specialist track was because I noticed in the classroom area a lot of students struggle with reading, and I think it benefits all teachers, no matter whether you want to pursue a reading specialist position or you're a classroom content teacher. Helping your students learn to read is something you need no matter where you are. You can find out more at westliberty.edu/MAED.
Hi, my name is Ken Sexton. I am a professor at West Liberty University, and in my spare time I spend it in these older homes rehabilitating them. So, for example, the house that I'm in currently was on fire in 2015 and it's sat dormant for around 7 years. The house is a small craftsman style house, which makes it pretty easy to work on, so we were able to remodel it so that it can be a livable house again and not be a vacant lot. Most of the houses I purchased, for me, have to have some unique characteristics still left from them that it hasn't been dismantled or covered up. So I usually drive around Wheeling on the weekends looking for these houses, and then I investigate either through the city or tax offices, and then I purchase them at a fairly decent price, and then remodel them or renovate them.
Whether you're a recent high school graduate or looking to complete a college degree later in life, starting your educational career at West Liberty University will be the catalyst for your future. Start your journey at westliberty.edu.